Okay, and I'm back. And today I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about, just through my time experiencing life. And that is just how weird I feel like the Western world is. And obviously I'm grateful to live here. I live in Canada. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I'm not saying this as like me saying I want to get out of like the Western world and like go back to like China or whatever. Although China is pretty Western. But you know what I mean, like North America. And that is just how how hungry for attention everybody is. Like um I feel like everyone here, especially at like the age that I'm in, the age range that I'm in, that's like high school and like university. It's like everyone is just so caught up on what they look like, how they dress, how they behave. And I'm not saying I'm not. Frankly, I might be the biggest victim of this type of thinking. But yeah, I just find it interesting how like around different parts of the world there's like different like uh ideas of what's important. And I would say in regions like Canada, it is just um, how like what you look like. It is just your physical like appearance. Canada, America, I would say Europe as well. It is just what's on the outside that matters, which is which is pretty I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like sad. It's just not like the right focus. Um, and so it's like people are always thinking about like yeah, like what they're wearing, how they act, the stuff that they say. That's why like there's TikTok trends nowadays because everyone just wants to follow some sort of standard protocol. Everybody just wants to act the same and they want to fit in. And it's sort of like the reason for that is because they weren't like very I don't know. I think that's just the culture in Canada. And that's just like how the youth were brought up. And I'm saying this as if I'm not like one of the youth in question, but yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's interesting seeing the difference here for sure. Um, and yeah, I'll give another example, right? Um, like how people act when they know someone is watching versus like someone here versus someone who maybe is not as aware of like their social interactions. And what I mean by that is like, you compare someone that's like neurotypical and then you compare someone that maybe has like some sort of mental deficiency, right? All love, of course, all respect. They're just not gonna they're not gonna act the same. And the specific example that I want to talk about that brought me to this case was actually people not washing their hands after going to the washroom. Um, and I don't know. It doesn't like I don't know if there's a very big connection here, but what I see is that um the people the Asians, like the fob Asians, like the Asians that were brought up, like you can tell that they were like immigrants not that long ago. You know what I mean? Like they immigrated to Canada not that long ago. They don't have a problem with going to the washroom and not washing their hands after. And this is while someone is watching, right? Because I'm physically seeing this. I'm physically seeing um these fobs who go to the washroom, like they pee, and then they just walk out. And to me, that is just insane, right? Because it's not only about the health aspect, it's also about um the fact that someone is watching you and you choose not to do it. So you're just purposely giving other people a bad first impression of you. And that's why I feel like the Western mind is like wired different because I feel like the average North American person would never ever do that because they actually care about how they're being perceived. They care about what people are looking at and they care about what people think. And that might just be me. And like you might be watching this, someone out there might be watching this, and you might be thinking, that is not me at all. I don't do things for other people to look at. And fair enough, because that's a very good trait to have. But I just feel like most people do that. So yeah, it's like a completely different, it's a differently wired mind. It's like they're so, like the people of North America are so much more different than like the people of Asia, I would say. I just figured out how to do this, by the way. All right. Um, so yeah, like I don't know, it's just crazy to me, honestly. It is wild that someone would just walk out the washroom without washing their hands when they know someone is watching. Um, yeah. I think I had something else to say, but I've kind of forgot. You see, I'm still getting better at talking to a camera because I can organize my thoughts in my head when, I'm not filming and no one's listening, but as soon as I'm in front of the camera, I just can't seem to focus, which I guess is normal. Um, but yeah, definitely gotta work on that. I'm thinking takes, but then it's just equal. Mm, not sure. Right, I remember what I was gonna say now. Um, so yeah, my follow-up to what I'm saying there is that I wonder what it would be like if I was one of those people, If I was one of those people that just did not care for the life of me, what other people thought of me, and I wasn't worried about how I was coming off as, or like my first impressions, or how I was being perceived. Because when you see someone and you can just tell that they go about their day unbothered, just without any thought about the people around them. Um, so yeah, I've always wondered what it would be like to experience that. Because I've always been someone that's been hypercritical of myself, and I've always been someone that's been paranoid, like genuinely paranoid about the fact that other people are looking at me and perceiving me. That's what I talked about in my other videos, right? Like I think maybe in my very first video, I talked about how when I cross the street, I think everybody's just looking at me, and that it makes me alter my behavior um to like sort of come off in a better way, even though I'm never gonna see the drivers again, or I'm never gonna see the other pedestrians again, or and I don't even know if they are looking at me. I still try to change my behavior in a way that is like I don't even know. Like I just try to like seem come off like cooler, you know what I mean? Or like if I'm on my phone, if I'm like scrolling on my phone while I'm waiting to cross the light, I will like it's like I'm being performative, right? Like I will performatively turn off my phone, put it on my pocket to walk the streets in the hopes of someone seeing that and thinking, "Oh wow, he's like attentive when he crosses the street and he's like he's aware of his surroundings, you know? And like it sounds really stupid, right? And I do realize that, but it's like I can't change. That's just how I'm wired to be. Like I'm always trying to like it's like I'm like a puppet, you know? Like as soon as someone's watching, I just try to try to put on a performance. So, yeah, I think it would just be really interesting to see what it would be like if I wasn't like that. If I was just like I guess like if I was just like an unbothered person, just 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 minding my business, not caring about what anyone says about me or thinks about me or is if someone is looking at me. And like you can just tell who those people are when you see them. Like you just have an idea that they're like it's almost like they're not all mentally there, you know what I mean? And that comes off as mean, right? But like it is true. Like you see someone and you're like, okay, he probably doesn't know the same social cues I do, or he doesn't understand the same social interactions as I do, and he doesn't look too deeply into things like I do. Um, or maybe I'm just exposing myself as like a really weird narcissistic person. I don't know. Um, but yeah, um, it would just be funny. It would just be not funny. It would be interesting to see because like I've fallen into this like Western idea that like you need to buy nice clothes. You need to buy like not like nice clothes, you know what I mean? Like you need to buy like clothing that people would think is cool. You need to adjust your entire behavior to fit like this like um finite bubble of expressions that you can have and like who you are. And it's like what if one day I just break out of that bubble? What if one day I just okay, I think I see. Okay, I think it is just this. Um, yeah, what if I can just break out of that bubble and stop caring about what other people are thinking of me? Um, and stop trying to put up a performance for every single like person I see. Um, but yeah, easier said than done. Easier said than done for sure. I think it's here. Um, so yeah, I think that's the gist of what I was gonna say, I believe. Right. Mm, what is the move here? Oh, also side note, I think my brain is actually melting from the drugs and the vape from the alcohol and the vapes. Like genuinely, I feel my brain getting slower and slower every single day. Um, and I can see it in my chess performance too, you know. I feel like I've been not like I haven't been like really declining, but I have like definitely noticed that sometimes my brain is working a little bit slower and I'm like I'm like forgetting stuff and yeah, it's just not a great feeling. Um, but you know what? We're still gonna go hard regardless. You only get you only get one period in your life where you surround yourself with people like partiers and like you can do all this sort of stuff while you're still young, you know? So I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm not gonna be a little wimp and stop doing that. Um, but yes, definitely affecting me at least a little bit, you know? Hmm, here. It is no, okay, it's not there. Mm, okay, this is just a sacrifice. Okay, maybe. Yes. Okay, checkmate made in one. Hmm, it's just there. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to think of whether or not I had something additional to say, but I don't think I did. Obviously, I'm gonna do a little conclusion at the end of the video. Okay, good. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Let's try to get a high score. I haven't gotten a high score on Puzzle Rush in a while. Check here. I'm gonna go for that, I think. Oh my lord. Oh, there's checkmate. Oh well. Alright, I guess that's time for the conclusion of the video then. Um, I guess my main points are that the Western world is so much more different from anywhere else. You don't have the same problems everywhere else that you do in the Western world, but they're not even problems because they're just, you know, unimportant really. But yeah, you find yourself as you get accustomed to the culture here, you find yourself molding into like the exemplar person that like this society wants you to be. And people, it's kind of like you're getting pressured into becoming this sort of clone of like the average person, and you start buying clothes and shoes and whatever to try to fit in and seem cool. But ultimately, all that you're doing is just becoming someone that you're not. And right now, I kind of feel the same way. I feel like some of my behaviors changed. Definitely the clothes I buy changes, the way I act changes. Um, and yeah, I don't think I think I've lost my true identity. But then again, did I really have an identity to begin with, or did I build my first one? And it just so happened to be this sort of Western idea? But yeah, it would be cool to sort of live a day in the life of someone who doesn't care about that as much as we do, or as much as I do at least, and someone who just goes about their day unbothered. Because I think that would relieve me from a lot of stress. Because a lot of the stress in my day does come from how I'm being perceived, the interactions I have with people, thinking back on those interactions and wondering if I did anything wrong or anything that wasn't, you know, something a normal person would do. But yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. All right, peace.